Alright, how's it going, everybody? We're playing some Modern Warfare Remastered today. No particular reason I'm on this game at the moment. Basically, I just had some stuff I wanted to talk about, and I didn't really feel like putting up with Cold War today. So, something that's been happening to me recently. Obviously, all you guys are, like, watching this on YouTube. I'm sure, you know, this has happened to all of you before. But you know that thing that happens where, like, you know, you'll watch one video on a certain thing, and then all of a sudden, like, your entire recommended page is just flooded with videos on that topic or content? Well, recently, that phenomenon has been happening to me with videos on, like, older Call of Duties. Dude, this entire lobby is running Juggernaut. What the fuck? But yeah, I was browsing YouTube the other day and I wound up watching a old video from FaZe Dirty on Black Ops 3. I don't remember the exact video. He was playing with FaZe Kitty. It was just like a typical, like, you know, pub stomping video, right? And basically, after I finished that video, my entire recommended page was almost entirely composed of videos from the Black Ops 3 era and also some Advanced Warfare in there. A little bit of like Infinite Warfare and MWR, but mostly like Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare. And basically, after having like watched a good bit of this content, I've talked about this before, but honestly, I'm not saying that I regret quitting COD when I did, but I don't know. I feel like if I'd given Advanced Warfare more of a chance, I think I could have come to like the jetpack CODs. For anybody who wasn't around on the channel when I've like talked about this in the past, basically I quit Call of Duty for about 4 games after the jetpack CODs came out. I played Advanced Warfare, I really didn't like it, and I basically wound up saying like, all right, you know what, like that's probably about it for me with this franchise. Fuck off, man. Come on, shoot down his helicopter. I want to call mine in. Baird ACOG, man, what a great weapon. I actually miss that fucking thing. But yeah, basically after having watched these videos a good bit, had I given Advanced Warfare a chance, I think I could have come to appreciate the jetpack CODs. I don't know if I really would have ever loved them, but like going back and now knowing that, you know, Advanced Warfare wasn't even like the best jetpack COD, and a lot of people actually really liked Black Ops 3. Like, Black Ops 3 is kind of a beloved COD. But anyway, yeah, I don't necessarily regret quitting Call of Duty when I did, but like, I don't know, I feel like if I'd stuck with it, I could have come to enjoy those games, you know? Probably not Infinite Warfare, but obviously, like, I missed out on this. Actually, it's funny, I was gonna buy this game. When they announced that COD 4 was gonna get a remaster, I was so pumped to hop back on the franchise, but then I found out about the whole fucking pre-order nonsense, and I was like, well, I'm not buying a game I'm never gonna play just to play this, so that is the one thing that I do regret. Honestly, buying Infinite Warfare and just never playing it absolutely would have been worth it for this game, I guarantee it. But yeah, man, like, even the games that I went back and played, like, I went back and played World War II a little bit, I've played Black Ops 3 a little bit. I definitely feel like I could have come to like Black Ops 3 the most. That game just kind of, I don't know, something about just the feel of the game, like, it feels really smooth. I don't know how better to explain it than that. What the fuck? What are you doing back there, bud? Although I will say, looking back on Black Ops 3, like, having watched back a lot of that content, you know, like YouTube videos and stuff, like, in the order that they came out, because, like, I basically went back, I watched a bunch of Black Ops 3 content that was made, you know, like, right when the game came out, and then a few videos that were made, like, as the game's life cycle got going, and I even watched a few videos that were made, like, after the game's life cycle, like, after this and Infinite Warfare dropped. It was interesting to see how, like, that yearly opinion cycle of Call of Duty really didn't change very much, because a lot of people forget back then, like, many of the Call of Duties that people like revere these days really weren't well liked when they came out. Like, the quintessential example that I bring up is Black Ops 2. People talk about Black Ops 2 today like it's one of the greatest CODs, if not the greatest COD ever made, but I remember when that game fucking came out and everybody hated it. Like, seriously, and if you don't remember this, you either didn't play the game or you're in denial, because when Black Ops 2 came out, there was a large proportion of the community that was saying it was the worst COD they'd ever made. The same thing actually happened with Black Ops 1, now that I think about it, and Modern Warfare 3. Like, really, every game that came out after Modern Warfare 2 was, you know, quote-unquote the worst COD they'd ever made, until a few months went by and people realized, like, no, it's actually pretty good, it's just different. I think Black Ops 1 had the hardest time with that, just because, you know, Black Ops 1 had to live up to Modern Warfare 2's hype, and, like, obviously, that's a tall order for just about any game. But yeah, people's opinion of Black Ops 1 definitely improved as that game went along. Modern Warfare 3, people's opinion of that game definitely improved as it went along. Although I think a lot of that also had to do with them adding shit like Infected and Drop Zone as the game's life cycle went through. Like, the community loved Infected so much. Wait, the fuck? That guy just like glitched behind me. I have no idea what the fuck just happened there. But yeah, like once Infected came out, I know a lot of people like to play that because they like to spam it for mobs. And then obviously Drop Zone just being a really fun game mode in general, but also kind of becoming like the designated sniper playlist. Like Drop Zone was really fun because any given lobby had a pretty high potential to just turn into a full-blown sniper lobby. And a lot of the snipers on that game were not very good. So if you knew what you were doing, like Drop Zone was just easy clips no matter how you looked at it. Like it was to the point where FaZe Clan actually banned Drop Zone clips for a while, I remember. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just interesting like looking back on how differently people seem to feel about a lot of these games. Honestly, that's part of why I'm like really hoping for a solid remaster of, wait, hold on. Are you fucking new gens voting for Crossfire over Vacant? What's wrong with you people? Well, in case you needed any further reminder that this game is not COD 4, case in point right there. But yeah, that's actually kind of why I want to see like remasters of a lot of these older games that I really liked. Like I'd love to see a Modern Warfare 3 remaster. I'd love to see a Black Ops 2 remaster. A Black Ops 1 remaster would be really interesting. I'm just not sure how they do the sniping. I feel like that little sway on the sniper would look really silly with dual render. I don't know, that's just like a little design point, but like, cause here, like, so if you didn't play Black Ops 1, basically the way they nerfed sniping in Black Ops 1 was they made it so like, you see how like your scope sways a little bit when you go in? Basically in Black Ops 1, it's more of like almost you held your breath for too long, like that. Actually, even more extreme to be honest. Like it was like a very extreme sway. It was actually even worse when the game came out, but they significantly reduced it. But anyway, back to the point I was trying to make. I do really want to see like a proper remaster of some of these older games just because I want to see how differently I'd feel about them today versus back then. Because like obviously you can't really get a good picture of how you would actually feel about the games today because, you know, if you go back and you play like Black Ops 1 or Modern Warfare 3, like the player base is basically dead. The only people that really still play those games are like, you know, people who never gave them up, so they're all really good at it. So like, you know, it's hard to get like a proper picture of like how fun those games actually were, you know? Like when I went back and I tried to play Modern Warfare 3 a little bit for that video, like I could only find one lobby and it had these 3 like super sweaty kids in it that were just like going for Moabs and shit. And like that's not the Modern Warfare 3 experience. That's not the experience I remember. I spent the majority of Modern Warfare 3's life cycle playing Demolition, so like I'm not even sure if you can find a Demolition lobby. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to see just, you know, how differently I feel about a lot of the game mechanics and also to see like if I'd be any better at a lot of this stuff. Cause like Black Ops 1 sniping, I really wasn't that good at it, but I've also gotten a lot better at sniping in general since then. So like, I'm wondering if, you know, maybe today I'd be able to figure it out, assuming they actually released it in the state that it was in, you know, post buffs and whatnot. I mean, granted, I'm 90% sure that that's never happening. I made a whole video already talking about it with Modern Warfare 2, and the same kind of arguments basically apply for all the other old CODs. Like, it doesn't fit the business model, so we're probably just never gonna see it, you know? Although, in fairness, if what I'm hoping happens, and they actually release World War II without skill-based matchmaking, or with substantially reduced skill-based matchmaking just to try and garner up some kind of interest on the game, hopefully they'll see that that works with their Battle Pass model, that they don't need skill-based matchmaking to make the Battle Pass viable for them or whatever. Because that's why it's there, right? They removed the loot boxes and basically, you know, this is how they make their money now. Or I don't know, maybe the community could convince them that they'd just rather have loot boxes back, because, I mean, skill-based matchmaking would never work in any of the old CODs. It just wouldn't. I know they said that they have, or they didn't say it, I think it was leaked, but I know that apparently they have the Modern Warfare 2 one done already, so we'll see how that goes. Like, I mean, I'm assuming they're just holding on to it for a rainy day, or like, maybe next year when World War II kind of like dies down, they'll release in hopes that they'll like make back some money on that or some shit. I don't know. I mean, here's another wrinkle that a lot of people probably just haven't thought of is, you know, what do we do about crossplay? Like, crossplay would probably be entirely unfair in a game like Modern Warfare 2. Because like, one of the things that kind of balances mouse and keyboard versus controller, aside from aim assist obviously, is the movement. Like, advanced movement, if you're good at it, is much easier on a controller, at least in some people's opinion. I know that apparently that's why the CDL like hasn't moved to crossplay at all, is because they feel like controller players would just have too much of an advantage with the slide canceling and all that shit, bunny hopping and all that shit. It's just easier on controller than it is on like mouse and keyboard, for example. Anyway, that's about it for this one. I don't really know why. I just kind of felt like rambling about that topic for a little bit, you know? I guess getting back to the original point, do I regret quitting Call of Duty? Not really. I do kind of wish I'd played some of these games in the middle here, but I mean, it is what it is. What are you gonna do, you know? Maybe someday down the line when like Black Ops 3 becomes a quote-unquote old Call of Duty, maybe we'll get a remaster of that at some point. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content. That's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one.